Yes. Clap it up for me. I'm a little bit late. But I know y'all happy to see me here. I'm pissed off right now. I was just live a little bit, but I said I got to switch it up because the StreamYard ain't really treating me right. Let's spin the block and go to OBS and see how this thing is working. If I can get this live stream in high gear, because what I've realized today and that I've known that most of y'all are really going to find out at today is that the government does not care about us. The government does not love us at all. They have somehow, some way, I got to talk to the bosses about this. They have somehow, some way convinced Brittney Griner to plead guilty to the drug charges that she has going on in Russia, which she now faces 10 years in prison for, in a Russian prison, mind you. She pleaded guilty today. No plea deal on the table. Let me say this again. Her lawyer, her attorney, her team convinced her to plead guilty today in a Russian court on her drug smuggling charges with no plea deal on the table. Now, the hopes are that these two parties, both nations, can come together in the next couple weeks around the 16th or the 18th and come up with some possible options of maybe a prisoner swap or other things that could possibly get Brittney Griner home. But in the damn meantime, for the next couple of weeks at least, Brittney Griner will be sitting in a Russian prison, this time as a convicted drug smuggler. The game changes now. There's no agreement on the table that Russia has to now, because she pleaded guilty, now have to go ahead and let her go home. When has Russia ever been friends with the United States? They could go in this thing with two middle fingers and say, we keeping her. She pleaded guilty. She admitted her wrongdoing. There's nothing you can say now. Wow. This is blasphemous. This is blasphemous to me. Now, mind you, people, I've been covering this Brittney Griner story a little bit for some months now. Back in April, I think, was the first time I spoke about it here on the Best of Seven Sports Talk, for the simple fact that I found out that she was detained since February. And April was the first time that it was really put out there in the media. So I'm sitting there wondering to myself, why in the hell is no one speaking on Brittney's detainment? The excuse was that no one wanted to say a bunch in the media because they were afraid of how it will go in Russia, because that's a whole different law and all that type of stuff. So they were trying to keep it quiet. They didn't want to do anything to jeopardize her coming home. A political statement, but fine. That's what we're going to have to rock with. You don't hear her conversation. You don't hear about this subject going down in general conversations in regular rotation. You only really hear about her whenever she has to go to court for that day. There's a lot of Americans. We're fighting two fights right now. I'm going to be honest with you guys. We are fighting two fights in this Brittney Griner war, because I'm looking at and yes, I called it a war, because I'm looking at the comment section of some of the content I do on Brittney Griner. There are so many people in white America that feel like Brittney Griner is getting what she deserves for whatever statement she made in regards to the U.S. government back in the day. They feel like this is karma. They don't care. The White House released a report just yesterday, 2 days ago, that they received a letter that Brittney Griner has sent to Joe Biden, and he actually read it. That was it. We got it. We read it. That's it. You're sitting in a Russian prison, no feedback for the wife or nothing. Everybody wants to come and walk on eggshells and keep quiet because they don't know how the Russian government is going to react. And then you turn right around and convince her to plead guilty. Now, the fear in her team is beyond repair to me. They sold this girl out. They were afraid that she stood no chance in trial. like the decision was already premeditated. I can't argue that. They may have intel on that Brittney was fighting a no-win battle come trial. But with that being said, how the hell do you still not fight if you don't have nothing to fight for? Y'all buckled under the potential pressure of what would have to happen in the trial. That happens every day. People plead out. And yes, the law is different. But what went into the decision making of telling this girl to plead guilty to these crimes, and hopefully in the next couple weeks, we'll figure out a way to get you back on United States soil? I mean, I really gotta talk to the bosses about this one, bro. And like I said, you look at Twitter, you look on social media, these people don't care about no Brittney Griner being detained, and they like good for her. We're fighting two wars, y'all. We're fighting each other in this situation as well as Russia. In this matter, our own people seem to be the worst enemy. I'm not even going crazy on Russia because they got laws, they got rules. Brittney allegedly broke them. She even pleaded guilty to breaking them. And I'm not saying we need to give Brittney some time pass, whereas though she get to come to the United States and get to go walk home free. Hell no, I'm not saying that. I'm not advocating for that. There's plenty of my guys that's locked up currently now on drug charges and stuff like that. They not getting home free. So if Brittney did the crime, she need to do some time, or however however you want to do the program. I don't want to send nobody to jail, period. But I'm not advocating for her to get away scot-free. What I'm advocating is for her to get the situation done fairly. Because what they are basically going to make her go through over there is like she was a smuggler of pounds of cocaine and marijuana and keys of dope or heroin. Like, that wasn't the case. Oil and vape cartridges. And not in the sample size to be selling. But the vocabulary behind these charges, and because we're dealing with Russia, yo, if this was back here, we looking at maybe a probation before judgment if she don't have a record. Wasn't a violent offense. No money was involved. This would literally be a slap on the wrist for Brittney Griner if this would have happened in the States. But it didn't. And she should have been smarter than that. And this is why I'm not giving her a pass. But nobody in their right mind can really honestly say that a person of her stature and her background deserves to be sitting in a Russian prison cell for 10 years for having hashish oil and vape cartridges on their possession, going through an airport, going home, I believe. I got to talk to the bosses. I'm in shock right now. I am pissed right now. You guys are now rocking with the best, though. This is the best of 7. Thank you for taking some time out to rock out with me today as I just react to this whole situation with Brittney Griner, man. I appreciate y'all so much coming through for these couple minutes. I wasn't going to take long at all. But again, this matter just bugs me out when I think about what this girl is facing and the little circumstances that surround it and all the hate that she's getting from her own people. Lack of help from the own government. Wow. This thing seemed to be tailor-made. The media kept quiet of the story from the jump. Now the White House and the government not doing anything to help. And anything that we say on the foreground is going to hurt the situation according to them. No-win situation for this young girl. They're bringing her sexual orientation into this whole conversation because she's gay and all that. If y'all had a problem with all that, why y'all let her come over there and play in Russia if it's a problem with her being gay? I don't know, man. Y'all stay safe. Have a good day, and I will get at you guys later, man. I'm Seven Mitchell with the Best of Seven Sports Talk. Like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Shout out to the Super Chat gang. Y'all know the vibes. I'm out. Peace, y'all.